Well, I came out to the coffee shop and I have to go back home because at work they released some important updates to the way we work as brokers, you know, as freight brokers. So, and I don't want to watch it, it's like a long video, I don't want to watch it on my laptop. So just had one coffee and spent time looking for a car wash, believe it or not, because the car is super dirty after the trip to Leduc. But I don't want to go to the regular wash, and that's all. That seems, you know, all they have here is the regular wash with those spinning machines with fabric, right? And so found one nearby here. I'm gonna go and then I'll show you how the car looks. Like, the weather's good, so it should look gorgeous when it's clean. So using the red key today. And something is happening at work in a good way. A while ago I gave a quote to a customer, and this guy, I previously hauled loads for him when I was a carrier, and so I remember this guy, and he's in Ontario. And so when I was doing my first marketing campaign, you know, remember I was saying that those were my best prospects, somebody that I worked with as a carrier, so they might remember me, right? And so this guy responded positively, and then he was asking me for quotes, but I never had any feedback. You know, I think once he said he found somebody cheaper, and so I sent him maybe 5 or 6 quotes, and never anything was accepted. So I basically just wrote him off. But then this time, a couple of weeks ago, he asked me for a quote. I checked the distance, I know these machines, you know, and the weight, it's not that complicated. So I sent him a quote. And so yesterday, as I was, you know, doing the road trip, he sends me an email saying that he's ready to ship this machine at the quote I sent him. Which was really unexpected, you know. So now also another reason why I have to get back home, so because I have 2 monitors there, right? So much easier to deal with carriers, so people will start calling me and stuff like that, and I have to watch this important policy update video. My boss insists I watch it because he says they did a lot of changes, like in the policy wise, how we choose carriers, you know, and what to do and what not to do. And I think the bottom line is, I'm guessing somebody else probably had the same mishap like what I did with it forklift. Remember when there was damage, right? Because it was a cheap carrier. And so I think the most important thing they're doing here, they're telling us to avoid cheap carriers, because all these damages, right? It's not good. It's bad for the company. It's bad for the image of the company, right? because this one doesn't have the rails. You know, I hate those when the wheels have to go inside like a tunnel. And so here you just put your front wheels on that, it's like a escalator. I mean, so once your front wheels are on that, it just moves you. So this is my first time, my first wash in Alberta, because that doesn't count, you know, what the dealer did, right? And they do have the regular wash. You see these things on the sides, but this is touchless. Man, that looks pretty. But I don't want to clean it because, you know, then what's the point, right? So they only have two packages. One is $13, and then the cheaper one is $10. And so I went for the more expensive one. And it's not too far. It's like 5 minutes from that Starbucks where I was, you know, so at least not. Oh, and I did find a cheaper, a different one, but then you look at the reviews, and that one had like 1.9. A bit scary. Sounds like a turbo. There's some kind of lights in there. Very cool. Cool experience, you know. Very tight. Everything is super tight here. Let's go park and we'll check how the car looks. Basically, next time I'll know that I can come from this side. Oh, and they have a... Oh, so you can probably park trailers away. Okay. I'm gonna ask these guys, you know, in case because I was thinking of buying. Remember, I was thinking of buying some equipment. So let's say I buy a trailer or something, and I have to store it somewhere. Already got some resin. The Hellcat is clean, more or less. I love the sound. The exhaust sounds awesome. Just drive back home. I think maybe we can use this. don't think I have my... I don't have my head. Okay, so let's put in. I'm gonna use Waze.
Let's take Stony Trail Northeast Calgary. Arrival time on this route is similar to Stonehill Drive Northeast, 128 Avenue Northeast Calgary. Turn right on 120 Avenue Northeast. In 200 meters, turn left on 14th Street Northeast. Turn left on 14th Street Northeast. In 800 meters, turn left on Country Hills Boulevard Northeast. In 300 meters, turn left. Turn left on Country Hills Boulevard Northeast.
In other news, I think I mentioned before, I ordered some supplements online for weight loss because I'm getting very fat with this sitting style job, right? And so it took them like 2.5 weeks.
In 700 meters, exit to Highway 2 North, Deerfoot Trail. Use the right lane to exit right.
So yeah, finally those pills arrived. So now I'm supposed to take one pill every day, and it's some crazy new scientific breakthrough. So what these pills do is they claim to increase the temperature inside your body, believe it or not. And they say that like even a slightest increase in temperature causes high metabolism. And in the advertising they say, well, you can basically keep eating, you know, pizzas and cakes, but you're gonna start losing weight because of the high metabolism, and which is allegedly happens because of the higher temperature inside your body. So basically, if during the next videos you'll see me looking like this, don't be surprised. I need to buy regular coffee. This is all decaf. This one works very well. Quadcopter, had to clean it once already, and I bought this special. So you have to use this descaling solution, but so far I don't know, very happy with this little machine. And these are the magic pills. So they look like this. And they say, take one. I already took one. And make sure you drink lots of water with it. So we'll see what happens, but I really have to get rid of this, you know. I scaled this morning. Oh, let's go. Oh, actually I already had coffee and stuff like that. What? Well, I have of course my pants on, and I have like no freaking way. This morning was 192, and I had one coffee and I had one cheese stick. But the goal is to reach my well, that would be like ideal. When I was 21 years old, I was 71 kilos or 165 pounds. I sent an email to my brother, and this morning he replied. I said, maybe you can do it over there, right? Because he's in Moscow. Moscow is a huge city. You probably can find some good opportunities, you know, buy cheap, sell high, right? And he replied this morning. He says, I only sell my own stuff. He says, many people do it over here, buy and sell. He says, перепродажа это не для меня. Basically, profiteering is not for me. And actually, back in the day, and it's funny, he used to run a coffee shop, right? Like, what are you talking about? He used to buy very expensive coffee, like beans, and would sell them like 3-4 times what he paid for them. And now he says, перепродажа это не моё. Like buying and selling, basically buy low, sell high. I don't feel comfortable doing that. I don't know. He was in retail, as far as I remember. Actually, I was thinking I cannot do that. You know, I cannot. I'd be bored out of my mind to run like a small retail store, right? Because it's a lot of records, a lot of responsibility, lots of bookkeeping. And at one point, he had like a girl working for him, you know, because he didn't want to be there all the time. But it was a very small store, but he was making a lot of money because he was focusing on very expensive, you know, coffee brands, not like what we drink here, because these guys over there, they're really spoiled, you know. They don't drink like South American coffee. They drink something really exotic, you know, like Switzerland, you know, I don't know, Italy, something very expensive. And his little store was right in downtown Moscow, where all the government offices are located, not too far from Parliament, right? And all these secretaries, you know, of reception, whatever, assistants of rich people, you know, so they would send him a request, like especially before the new year, like Christmas time here, but over there like New Year holidays, they would buy a lot of this stuff, you know, maybe for their colleagues, for their bosses, you know, like as presents, this expensive exotic coffee. And I think he also had tea, but mostly coffee. And so now he's saying that he cannot do that. I'm not sure how he makes his money, since the YouTube monetization is not allowed anymore, unless, let's say, he makes a video and he posts on his channel and they know that he's located in Moscow, Russia. So any views his channel gets from residents of Russia are not monetized anymore. But if I watch it, you watch it, some views from US and Canada are monetized, but not from inside Russia, right? So for him, if I watch his video, he'll get a couple of cents. But since his videos are in Russian, and he's based in Russia, so of course 99% of his viewers were Russians. And so I'm not sure how he survives over there, especially with the economy going down. And I emailed I wanted to ask my mom, like I mentioned yesterday, if they have any news about my nephew, my brother's son, who's, you know, somewhere in Ukraine. But I didn't ask him, just because, again, it was late before I realized. When I wanted to send that message on WhatsApp, again, I started thinking too late about this, and it was already late. Like, for example, now 11 o'clock here, so 22:11, so it's 22:01 in Ontario. So basically, let's say 1 o'clock, right? And then it's should be 9. It's 9 at night in Moscow, Russia. So my mom is definitely asleep at 9 o'clock. You know, like older people, right? She's like, what, 85, 86. I'm on my way to becoming the retail mastermind, but not there quite yet. Thanks for watching.